And we are live. Um, Let me share my screen really quickly. Welcome to Saturday School, where we actually teach you stuff about, investing in real estate, or we teach you stuff about prospecting. We teach you stuff about script management. Sometimes we throw a little acquisition sauce in there, but we're doing this live today on my YouTube and my Facebook channel. I'm up early. I love you guys because sometimes I just want to sleep in on a good Saturday on a note. What it's about to be November? What, Monday? So yeah, so the summertime was great, but today we're going to be talking about the motivation of sellers. I only got about 45 minutes with you guys. Do me a favor in the comments, in the chats, write your number one problem you're struggling with and getting deals or closing sellers. Like I said, today we're going to be talking about the motivation of sellers. So everything started understanding the type of leads you had, and we're going to go straight from there. I have my good friend with me, Apple, today. She's going to be assisting me and maybe answering a few questions, but I promise I'm going to try to get through as many slides as possible. This broadcast is brought to you by Prospect Vault. It's an entire done for you system where you can do your text messaging, you can host your websites, you can do your cold call if you would like. You can do your English voicemail. It's so much that you can do. And if you love and support what we got going on, do me a favor. All I ask is to share this screen. People pay their hard-earned money for this type of training that we are sharing to you guys, and everybody's been able to see this today for their reference. So I don't know if I'm going to take the video down, but I just wanted to make sure everybody was able to get into the training today. So let's get it. So what is V1 Saturday School? I am one of the facilitators. Apple is here. She's one of the managers or directors. Uh, and we're going to be talking about finding motivated sellers and where you get really good deals, right? How you interact with sellers will go a long way in determining how many deals you close. The more you know about your seller and what they want, the higher the closing ratios will be. I had a little echo.
Someone is talking. Oh yes, there is an echo.
Let me see. You get that echo?
Okay, it's all quiet now.
I know what that was. I forgot to X out last one, then the replay start back playing.
Oh, I see. Live storm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So instead of looking at a deal from your perspective, flip that thinking around and put your sellers first, guys. I think a lot of people have been too transactional and they're just thinking about themselves. In this business, to all my virtual assistants out there, to all my owners and operators, you are in the customer service business. Your job is to figure things out and solve problems and present offers that solve problems and relieve the sellers of whatever issues they're going through. By the end of this training, you're going to be able to learn who our motivated sellers are. You're going to be able to negotiate with sellers using phone scripts, and you're going to learn how to crush objections. So that's what we guarantee you today. The first step in working with any seller is to find out their motivation, guys. That's very important. Instead of looking at the numbers and trying to determine whether or not the property makes sense, you need to talk to the sellers and see what they're looking for, right? During your initial conversations, you should attempt to derive what their motivation is. And what we mean by that is, hey, Mr. Seller, let me ask you, your house it looks like a great house in a great neighborhood. What's driving you to want to get a cash offer to want to sell? If the expectations are unrealistic, some of your sellers are gonna say, "Yeah, I would sell if you give me $3 million," and then you check Zillow and the house worth 200,000. Then you know you have a seller that may not be serious. So you can allocate your time to other deals. Now, if you got a seller say, yes, I'm interested in selling, how much you want to sell for? I want to sell for 140. You check Zillow, it's worth 220. Guess what? That may be a great deal for you to start working on. You know, if your seller is truly motivated, you can roll up your sleeves and get started by solving their problems. Listen to what I'm telling you. You're not just giving them an offer, you're solving their problems. A motivated seller is someone who is eager to get rid of a property that's in their possession, guys. He or she is a property owner who will meet at least one of the following criteria or conditions, right? Here's one of them. Willing to sell a property at a very favorable price. Usually this means 10 to 30% below market value. Also, willing to sell a property at a very favorable terms. This includes things like no money down, zero interest, financing, owner finance, lease option, or something of that sort. How do you negotiate with motivated sellers? So I'm not going to read all of this stuff, guys, because I got a lot of content to cover, and I only got about 30 minutes. But I'm going to go through everything and give you an overview, right? The goal is to leave a casual message. So if you're running Ringler's voicemails, you can leave a casual message. You don't want to make it all lengthy and long and leave your resume and let everybody know who you is and what you do. In fact, you just want to come off as an investor in the streets. This with any type of cold outreach with any prospect, you shouldn't be telling them your company. You shouldn't be telling them, who you are, your first and last name. Come up with a separate personality who you want to be, and be that person. So I use my nickname sometimes in our cold outreach, and we never give us our real number because there's people out here that's professional predators that all they do is target people who reach out to them not knowing that they're on a DNC list. They send you a letter and they threaten to sue you in exchange of some type of ransom or some money. So be careful of that, guys. Make sure that when you're reaching out to people, it's very casual. It seems like you're just an individual and you're not some big Fortune 500 company, right? You can also let people know that you are a local investor. Use your first name. Like I said, don't use your first and last name. You buy houses for cash, and that you just came across their property, right? And whatever callback number you give them, you can use a tracking number from like Callroof, and the fact that they can call or text you back. So that's important to really see, and that you would like for them to call you back, even if they're not interested in selling right now. So you want to make sure these messages are at least 40 to 60 seconds, right? This may sound like a long time on the phone, but trust me, it's not long, right? The first reason why we want to leave this long message is you just want to make sure that you're using it to qualify them. Because if they actually are a qualified lead, they will follow your instructions and call you back or text you back. And they basically pre-qualify themselves. Also, it gives you enough time to convey all the beats about without rushing, right? The sellers are more receptive to a message that does not sound canned. If your message is too titty and button up, you may come across as robotic, right? Not like a real person. So this message is the one time that the professional life that you don't have to really sound professional. You want to say, hey, Antoine, how you doing? I just came across your property. I'm a local cash investor. We're looking to buy a few more properties in your area, so we just been searching really hard. Listen, if you ever thought about selling your property, now is the time the market is doing great. We're able to offer a little more money than usual. Feel free to call or text my phone at your early convenience. Even if you're not interested in selling, feel free to call and text my phone. That's how it should sound. Okay, guys? So, cut to the chase, right? And here's the goal. So the goal is to basically get somebody to feel compelled to call you back, right? So here's the contents of this: your first name, the company name. You know what I mean? The fact that you're local, that you and your partners need to buy 2 to 4 houses. Now, that might sound contradictory to what I just said, but listen, one of the secret sauce that we do in our company is whatever marketing we are doing, we always use a shell company for our marketing, just to protect us as a real estate investing company. So whatever that shell company is, there's not going to be no actual transactions ran to that company. It's just like a storefront or front or something like that. You want to let them know you're buying 2 4 houses in the next 30 days and that their property may qualify for your program. Your callback number, once again, which is your tracking number, you can get a tracking number from CallRail. The fact that they can call or text you back, that's important. And this should be 20 to 30 seconds, right? So you're conveying nearly as much information as the brief, so you can pace a little quicker. You should be more energetic, guys, especially UVAs. When you're talking to people, try to sound energetic. Don't try to just sound robotic or sad or dragging your voice, or like it can really mess up the flow of your calls and the flow of your qualifications. So the CTC language is most successful when targeting entire landlords, guys. Listen to what I'm saying. It's most successful when targeting entire landlord lists. Now, where would you get a target landlord list? Good question. You can go to PropStream. Go to CEO929.com/PropStream. We'll hook you up with a 7-day free trial. And you can pull a tire landlord list. Go to quick list search and you see tire landlord and just type in your state and any other credentials that you want, like 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, whatever list you want, it'll pop up. They can be more receptive to a straightforward, plain spoken value proposition. And here's why. They've been down this road before. They own investment properties. They get it. They're not really emotionally tied to their property. To them, it's a transaction. So they appreciate you're not wasting their time by letting them know what your intentions with the call is anyway. Word tracks. Word tracks are mini scripts that have a specific goal within the sales call. Use them to control the conversation to guide your prospect back to your agenda when they stray. So, 2 yes becomes 3. So 2 yes become 3 is not a script per se. It's more of a word track that you can use inside of your script. It can be ran at any point in your conversation with a prospect. It is based on a time-tested behavior science, guys. If you can get a person to say yes 2 times, they're likely to say yes again on your 3rd question. So here's an example. Your prospect, I did some research before we reach out to you, and I'd like to confirm some things. Your house is a 3-bed, 2 bath, right? Yes. The square footage of your property is about 1,500 square feet, right? Yes. You have been thinking about selling a house before my call. In essence, you are training your prospects to say yes to get them more comfortable with answering you in the affirmative. Feel, felt, and found, right? Feel, felt, and found is another word track that can be applied at various places within your exchange with the prospect. It is a way to close distance between the two of you. It builds empathy. Listen to what I'm saying, guys. It builds empathy, and is a way to overcome rebuttals. So, how it works. After presenting your offer, your prospect objects, right? Example. That's a way lower offer than I had in mind. How many times you guys get that? Mr. Prospect, I understand how you feel. I certainly felt that way before when we're trying to negotiate a deal. But I found is that sometimes it's about more than a price, and there are other types of values that make the deal make sense. Tip. When executing this word track, remember to take notes of what the prospect says to you and take use to what you heard later in the conversation. So one of the things we teach in our acquisition training, which you should be coming this Tuesday, if you haven't been to acquisition training, you definitely doing yourself a disservice, is you should always have a notepad out, and you should be taking notes of every conversation you're having with a prospect. So then later on in the call, you can use them, the same notes against them in a positive manner. That's what your cold calling, that's what your acquisitions, that's what your dispositions, that's in any business. You can use this technique and it works really great. You know why? Because it shows the prospect that you're actually paying attention and you're really concerned and you're considerate of their opinion and the things they told you because you remember what it was. Here's my favorite one. I think I mastered this and didn't even realize I mastered this. The you and me against the world, right? The you and me word track is about positioning in a face-to-face sales. You never want to try to sell across the table from a prospect because if there's a virtual, you versus them. Whenever possible, you want to make a move to the same side of the table to get knee to knee if possible. Now, most of your stuff is going to be on the phones. So, how do you get to the you and me against the world on the phone? You do, and this is some sauce I'm giving you guys. I don't know why I'm giving it to you on YouTube. You do what we call the whisper. You do the whisper method, right? We haven't even put this in there. The whisper method is basically you're getting across the table. This is the same as you was in a room with a person. Hey, listen. You calm down the conversation. Hey, listen. I understand what you mean. Now, listen. If you work with me and you just answer a few more of these questions, I'm pretty sure that if I can get as much of details about this property as possible, by the time I get this information to my underwriter, he'd probably be willing to give you a little more on your property. But if you just give me vague answers and don't really give me details about the property, they're probably not going to get you the best offer you could possibly get for this property. Now, you're saying how I'm showing them, and I'm on their side and giving them some tips and some back end stuff of what we do as a company in order to get them to comply to what I really want. So make sure that you understand that whispering method is very powerful. You can use that in any business, um, real estate, sales, uh, solar, roofing, whatever business you're in, you can use it. So here's another example. Mr. Seller, you shared with me that you want to sell this house and that you're looking to get rid of all this yard work. You want a condo in Florida where you want to sell a house, and I want to buy one. The only thing standing in our way is the market. I'm going to be honest with you, Mr. Seller. I have a pretty clear criteria that we follow when making offers. It's all based on the actual market. Let's hope the market cooperate with us so I can get you into that condo on the beach. Let's put our heads together and make this work. Now, what you're doing is we're doing what we call showing them the pat of gold. You're showing them what it's going to take to get to the end objection, to get to the end objective of what they want. So remember, you're solving problems. You figure out that they really just want to get rid of this house. They're sick and tired of all of the yard work, and they just want a condo on the beach. Who doesn't want a condo on the beach? I definitely want a condo on the beach. So the trial closes. Trial closes a way to test the waters with a prospect, guys. You want to present multiple scenarios that gauge the prospect readiness to move forward, right? You want to make sure people are ready to move forward. If they're not ready to move forward, guys, don't push them. That's where follow comes in. When they're ready to move forward, then you push them over to your sales guys and let them do their job by closing them because they're motivated enough to take you on whatever you're offering them. But if they're not ready to move forward, all you're doing is tying up the pipeline and you're doing what we call fake busy and no deals are being closed. Example, Mr. Seller, if we can get you close in the next 10 days, would that be an incentive enough for you to move forward? Mr. Seller, are you the only one on the title or is someone else going to have to sign the deed? Mr. Seller, do you want us to handle the removing the tools in the garage or are you going to give us those to your buddy or to a buddy? How we looking on time? Apple. You can unmute yourself. How we looking on time?
We still have time, 9:36.
Okay, great. This tapped me at 9:55. That way, any little question
Sure,
I need to
sure.
answer, I can answer them and get off. I got a podcast.
Another podcast. Yes.
Okay. Okay, great. Then after this, I'm going to go relax.
Okay.
I'm just joking. I got some stuff to do around the house, and then yeah, I'm getting ready for tomorrow. Okay, sorry guys. I just wanted to make sure that I was still on schedule. Yeah, the mouse is tripping on this laptop. Sorry. Give me a second while I fix it. Come on, laptop.
Apologies for that. Another technical difficulties. Let's just give him a few minutes and he's fixing his laptop. Not he's not in his office as of the moment, and we'll be having another podcast later.
Okay.
You okay?
Yeah. The mouse on this laptop just started tripping, so it wouldn't let me do what I wanted to do. Okay. See, look, it just started tripping. Let me go back. Okay, great. So we on schedule. So the one thing, right? The one thing is a funnel that will help you get to the ultimate issues, keeping your prospect from doing the deal with you. You will most likely not use this word track in the first conversation. Use this word track you have followed up over a couple of conversations, and the prospect is indicating that he's genuinely interested but has reservations. He understands your value proposition of speed over maximum price. Right. Example, Mr. Seller, what is the one thing, just one thing that you would say is preventing you from selling us your property? I don't want to pay any lawyers. Okay, so if we can assure you that you won't be responsible for any closing costs whatsoever, uh, would you be willing to move forward? Prospect, yes, I think so. Well, you said that was the one thing in the way. Is there anything else? Remember, guys, there's never just one thing, right? There's always multiple background issues. So a lot of this stuff is what we call a silent objection, where the prospect is feeling some type of way, or something else is stopping them, and that there's no physical evidence that you see, whether it's on paper or it's through the conversation, that's stopping them from moving forward with you. But I'm here to tell you that most of your prospects had some type of silent objection that was stopping them from moving forward with you in the process of selling. Then they may say, well, that, and I don't want to have my neighbors know we had to sell our house. I don't want this stuff online. And then you say something like this: I hear you loud and clear. So it's important to you that the transaction gets done discreetly. Is there anything else? So we keep repeating until you arrive at the final thing, guys. Let's go through some good common seller objections and questions. Right? You get this a lot. I want to think about it. I get this in all my business. People say, I want to think about it. Give me to next week. I'm gonna get back to you in a month. Give me until after the holidays. Like, there's all type of excuses people give. So you can say, I can appreciate that, Mr. Seller, but when you agree that 2 minds are better than one. I mean, if I leave you and you have questions, the chance of you picking back up that phone and calling me is slim to none. Wouldn't you agree? So let me ask you a question, Mr. Seller. What specifically would you like to think about? The contract, me, the process, or what about the price? Then you just shut up. Okay, Mr. Seller, you do realize that we're paying cash, and I'll be paying for all the closing costs, right? Shut up. Then maybe the seller will say something to, like, I was thinking more like 135,000. And you start like, hey, Mr. Seller, you're killing me here, man. If I can agree to that 135 today, can we get this done today? If they say yes, to say, let's get this paperwork filled out. I send you over the agreement right now so we can move forward with this. Here's another one. I have several other investors that will be looking at the property. Okay, Mr. Seller, to me, that's kind of a shock. I'm sorry, Mr. Seller, we don't play the bidding wars. We might have to withdraw this offer. So you can frame this up. Listen, guys, when we teach this stuff, this is not word for word. This is what we call framework. And sales and marketing, because that's what you are, whether you know it or not. You have framework. It's up to you to take that framework to personalize it for yourself to make it sound more genuine. Mm-hmm. Is there something I said or did that made you not like me? Okay, then, you like me, right? You're confident that we can close this deal. Is the price fair? Did you know that most of the mail you're probably receiving right now, Mr. Seller, is coming from some newbies that went through some type of weekend seminar, and they'll tell you anything just to get a contract so they can post it on Facebook and show everybody they're successful. You know that, right? Then I don't understand, Mr. Seller. I'm sitting here with you on the phone. You like me. The price is okay for you. You're confident that I can get this deal done, but you want to waste your time talking to some other so-called investors. And you lose a good investor that's sitting right on the phone with you. That doesn't make sense, Mr. Seller. And if they say it doesn't make sense, hey, listen, great. Would you like to close on the 13th or the 15th? And start filling out the paperwork and sending it over to them. What makes you different from everyone else? Good question. That's a great question, Mr. Seller. I'm different because I'm honest, ethical, and I get deals done. I've been doing this for a while, and I have a great team of people around me that I accomplish and produce results. So the question is, Mr. Seller, would you refer a check or a bank wire when we close on this property? If I can't get this price, I'm not going to sell it. You're going to get that a lot. I can appreciate that, Mr. Seller. I understand your frustration with the market, but please let me ask you a question. What makes you believe your house is worth $30,000 more than your neighbor that has a very similar house down the street? They may say mine is better, mine's in a better condition. Well, if you were a buyer, which you will be, would you buy a house that was very similar and pay $30,000 more? You say no. You want to sell your house, don't you? So what makes you think I or any other buyer will pay a premium for this house? Okay, Mr. Seller, you do realize that we're paying all cash and all the closing costs as well. And remember, you don't have to pay any realtor commissions. So you will save thousands of dollars. With that in mind, what's the best price you can do? They say 135, just using as an example. Okay, great. As long as in your parameters. Can we get this done today? Another one you may get, I'm not sure if I can sell at that price. Okay, Mr. Seller, how far off are we? Or you can say, okay, Mr. Seller, what price were you thinking? When a seller names the price, just move to the next objection, guys. Your price is too low. Okay, Mr. Seller, I can appreciate that. So I understand the price is too low compared to what? Remember, you want people to justify the reasonings of why they say what they say. So if they say, hey, your price is too low, great. So let me understand. The price is too low compared to what? Now they have to reference another property or reference another property that's sold for more than what your offer is. And if they reference another property that sold more to your offer, maybe it's a fixed up house, maybe it's beautiful, maybe it's a newer house down the street, you can say something like this. Oh, that house. Well, first of all, it hasn't sold and it's been on the market for over 187 days. Also, the house is 1,876 square foot and your house is 1,350. That's not a comparable sales by any means. Did you know a certified appraiser needs 3 sold comps within a 10% of the footage that has sold in the last 90 days in a 1 mile radius? No. With that in mind here, are the comps that fit the appraiser criteria? As you can see, Mr. Seller, if you put your house on the market today, you would get roughly 145 for the property. But remember, you have to pay relative commissions, closing costs, and more than likely you'll spend some money on cleaning up the property. If you get down to the net cash in your pocket, you will exceed that much, right? So 135 is definitely a very fair offer when you agree. Also, how do you get to that price number? Based upon a formula we use that rely on price per square footage and condition. We know what kind of price range we need to be to make the deal work. We buy about 15 or 20 properties a month. Sometimes we buy properties sight unseen. So as long as the numbers work in the formulas we use, we know where we need to be at. My friend is a realtor, and she said the property is worth X. The tax assessment says it's worth more than your offer. So look at the numbers, guys, and see if it's at or close to the average of the 3 comps you selected. And we teach this stuff in acquisition training. If it is close, then you can continue your presentation and back out the relative commission, closing costs, and repair and investor profit. If the number is retail and the gap between you and where you need to be and the appraiser is do this. Thank you, Mr. Seller, for this information. I appreciate that. Now, as you know, I'm an investor and we do not buy properties for retail. If that were the case, I would have about 30,000 properties to look from or pick from. You do realize, Mr. Seller, I am paying cash and I'll be paying all the closing costs. And remember, you do not have to pay any commissions to a realtor, so you'll save thousands of dollars. So that being said, what price did you have in mind? And listen, guys, if they're close to your number, use the justification close. And if not, state your number and see what they say. How do I know this isn't a scam? Well, how is that, Mr. Seller? Listen for the real objection, guys. Let me ask you a question, Mr. Seller. If I can prove to you that this is not a scam, would you move forward with me today? The reason for this objection, again, guys, is the lack of credibility. Not enough rapport being built on the call. You're rushing through the process, and you are matching up the process with the wrong personality type. So make sure that you are listening to the seller, you're building rapport, you're establishing commonality, you're expressing empathy, and you understand the personality types. So what are some of the personality types? You have what we call emotional sellers. You have what we call analytical sellers, right? And I'm not going to get into all that. I only got 4 minutes left.
Yeah.
You got to understand the difference. So if we have any questions, guys, appreciate everybody. Let me back this up. Come on, mouse. Come on, man. Okay, I'll leave it right there. I'm not even going to fool with it. If you have any questions, drop your questions now. We do this Saturday school training a lot, maybe once or twice a month. Most of the time it's private. It's for our paid clients. We just like to show people the substance of what we do and teach as a company. So we will be transitioning to a lot of different stuff starting Monday. I won't make the announcements yet. I let my team do that. But if you want prospect vote, like somebody just said, prospect vote is fire. I don't know who that is, but appreciate the love and support. If you want access to prospect vote, get prospect vote. I'm telling you, it's a great way to manage your pipeline. It's a great way to manage your leads, nurture your leads, do your text messaging, do your one-off calls. You can do cold calling too, but do your one-off calls and then definitely your acquisition calls. Do your regular voicemails. I appreciate everybody. I want everybody to learn as much as they can. We may leave this up on YouTube. Go back and watch this stuff, guys. This stuff will change your business, especially if you're doing acquisition stuff and you want to understand how to figure out the motivation of a seller, figure out how to qualify them, figure out how to move forward in the closing process. You got to show empathy, guys. You got to have some type of emotional attachment with the seller and their situation. You have to have a vested interest in what they're going through. If you're just strictly, this is my offer, see you later, you're not going to do much transactions with people. You got to understand what makes them tick, and if you don't understand what makes them tick, and you don't understand how to make offers, if you don't understand how to close a person, you don't understand seller psychology, come see me. This is just a taste of what you're going to get. Come see me. I guarantee you we'll tighten you up and we'll make you one of the best closers in your organization. We do our acquisition training every 2 weeks. I'm considered throwing the towel in towards the end of the year and just let it be a pre-recorded course and you go watch it. But me, I like to teach it live. So we start Tuesday through Friday this week. If you want it, sign up. Listen, if you know anybody that's struggling in real estate, whoever closed their first deal, send them this video. Let them watch the information we're giving out. I'm telling you, it's great information. People pay tens of thousands of dollars to learn this type of information, and we're giving it to you on a Saturday morning just because. So if you want to check out what is Prospect Vote, I definitely say go to prospectvote.io. Get signed up. I guarantee you can't go wrong with it. It will save you on all of your stuff. So you can buy your phone numbers from there. You can run your campaigns from there. You can get rid of a lot of software that you're currently using. And our average user is saving between $700 and $900 a month just by making the switch with us. And I definitely would like you there. But I want to make sure I answer any questions. I got 2 minutes. So if you have any questions, I know a lot of people's questions probably not going to come through because I can't see on Facebook sometimes. Certain questions get blocked. But I appreciate everybody, right? Somebody say great content. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you. Apple, do we have any announcements that we need to make before we get out of here?
Yes, we would like to invite everybody on our 5-day W Lead Challenge, November 15
Yes, I forgot
to
about that too.
19, 15 to 19. Hmm.
Yeah. So our 5-day W Lead Challenge, what is it? It's basically a 5-day class where we're going over the entire process to be able to double the amount of leads and prospects you're getting. It's for any business. It's uniform information. Most information is fundamentals. You just gotta tweak it a little bit. Remember, information is just framework of what you're trying to do. So it's uniform information, $99 ticket. If you want VIP, $229. The VIP people, you meet with me an hour before the event. We go through a lot of stuff. We break down everything in your business. We give you extra workbooks and process maps and sheets to use. But I'm telling you, if you're in any business, I don't care what business you're in, you want to double the amount of prospects you're talking to, pay the $99. Come see me. It's going to be an amazing event, November 15th to the 19th. And I'm going to put that in the chat too as well. Let me put that.
I put it in the chat. Not sure if they are seeing it too or if it's a
No, that's a
private one.
private chat between me
Ah,
and you.
okay.
I just put in the general chat.
Okay. There we go.
So look, if you want to come to the 5 days W Lead Challenge, go to 5days.co929.com. Get registered, get signed up, and we'll take good care of you. If you want the Prospect Vote, go to prospectvote.io. I will put that in the chat as well.
And just to make sure, I'll be putting the EAR, the acquisition training that we will be having every bi-weekly. So our class will start on Tuesday to Friday, and we will be discussing a lot. This is a new program that we have. We've revamped it, merged it with a lot of new courses and new nuggets of information that would help them have the edge on their acquisition endeavors.
But I want everybody to go out and enjoy their Saturday. Remember to talk to sellers, make your offers, keep your prospects happy. And if you're brand new, you haven't closed your first deal, keep fighting. Keep fighting. I guarantee you get to that point. And let me put this last link up there really quickly before we go. And if you're watching the replay, interact in the chats too, so we can see, comment if you have any questions. We do go back and read our comments, guys, and let me know where you're watching from if you're watching the replay. Go to store.co929.com/products/AARP. That's a long link. We need a short code.
Yeah. Okay,
But,
that's it.
but yeah, that's it. I got
You have a
podcast.
podcast?
And guys, if you're watching the replay, if you have a podcast and you want me on, hit my team up. admin@co929.com. I want to be able to get on a few more podcasts before we close out the year. Hit us up. If you have a podcast, I don't care if it's an established podcast, you're starting out, I want to be on your podcast. I want to be able to speak to as many people as possible. So add us. See you guys. We got a lot in store for the month of November. We're just getting started. So appreciate you. Major announcements on the way on Monday and Tuesdays. So definitely take me out to spam folder, add me back into your list, read my text message I sent you, check my Instagram page. There's going to be a lot of changes, so I want you to stay up to date. Catch you guys later. Appreciate you. Talk to you soon. Adios.